Hi there guys, it's me, Glesney again. So as you can see from the caption for this video, tonight we're going to be talking about self-love and self-compassion. So how can we be a bit kinder to ourselves, which I think is sort of especially important at this moment with everything going on in the world. You know, I don't need to mention the C word, we all know what's going on. But yeah, I think now more than ever it's really important to be kind to ourselves. So for the next couple of minutes I'm going to be talking about what we mean by self-love and self-compassion, and then talking a bit about sort of what we can do on that journey towards self-love. So first I wanted to sort of talk about this golden rule that we have in society. So the golden rule says that we should treat others how we want to be treated. But let's sort of, if we flip that around, you know, would we want others to treat us the way, would we want to treat others the way we talk about ourselves, or how we treat ourselves? You know, I think sometimes we can find it quite easy to, you know, offer some sympathy and kindness to our friends, but why is it so hard to, you know, practice that on ourselves? I think especially with sort of social media and things and this sort of day and age, it's quite easy to compare ourselves to others and get really sort of down in the dumps and focus on the negatives about ourselves. You know, we've all got that inner voice in our heads, and I think sometimes that can act as more of an enemy than an ally sometimes. So that's where this video comes in. Hopefully there'll be sort of hopefully some sort of tips. I think something you might learn something, I don't know, about how we can be a bit kinder to ourselves. So like I say, let's talk a bit about what we mean by self-love and self-compassion. So self-love, first of all, is when we hold a high regard for our own happiness, and we are accepting of our flaws and of our weaknesses, and we sort of, you know, don't let anything get in the way of us being happy. True self-love is unconditional, so that means that it doesn't change over time and it has no limits. Like I say, that is the aim, that's what we aim for. But you know, it's a journey, isn't it? So it's something that we can work on over time. Some people can think it's quite vain or narcissistic to say that we love ourselves and all this, but self-love isn't about thinking we're better than other people. It's, you know, it's just about, like I said, being accepting of our flaws and our weaknesses, and of just liking ourselves, really. It's not about how we are in comparison to other people. So that's self-love. So self-compassion, on the other hand. So sometimes these terms are used sort of interchangeably, but they are sort of two separate concepts by themselves, but they sort of go hand in hand, I like to think. So self-compassion is when we show ourselves feelings of kindness, the sort of kindness that we'd show other people, and you know, especially when things are tough. A lot of people tend to think that this can be sort of a selfish thing to do, or a sign of weakness, or we're just feeling sorry for ourselves. But I mean, in reality, self-love and self-compassion takes a great deal of strength and resilience. You know, it's about recognising that, yeah, life can be tough, but so are we. And that life isn't just tough for us, it's tough for everyone. So by showing yourself that kindness and having that understanding, you're able to then, you know, give out that self-compassion to other people as well. So yeah, so we've mentioned a bit about the inner voice and things already, but that brings us nicely on to the first step on our journey to self-love. So I like to think there are 3 steps to this journey. So like I say, step 1 is being aware of that inner voice. Like I say, we all got one, and it's that voice that'll pop into your head when you make a mistake at work, or when you look in the mirror, or when you eat something unhealthy. It's that little voice that's just a bit of a running commentary in what you're doing. So yeah, be aware of that inner voice. Notice if it is, you know, saying negative things or positive things. So just really listen to how you're talking about yourself. And that's not just in your head, your inner voice. Think about how you talk about yourself to others as well. So yeah, that's step 1, be aware. So have an awareness of that voice. once you have that awareness, we can move on to step 2, which is when we challenge that inner voice and challenge those thoughts. So like I say, for this to happen, we need to first have that awareness, and when we do, we can start questioning those thoughts. When you notice it pop into your head, ask it, what's the evidence for this thought? Why am I thinking this way? What would you say if a friend said that to you? I'm sure it'd be a lot nicer than what you'd say to yourself. And as well, consider, is this thing that I'm worried about within my control, or is it something that I have no control over? A lot of the times with sort of anxious thoughts, they're to do with things out of our control. And if we can't control them, then we don't need to worry about them, really. Easier said than done, I'm aware. But with time, we can get there. So like I say, when those thoughts pop into your head, challenge them, test the waters, test the reality of them. Where are they coming from? And if you notice yourself getting really sort of bogged down by these thoughts, sometimes it's as simple as telling yourself, stop this thought. I mean, you can say that in your head, you can say that out loud if you need to. It's about stopping those thoughts in their tracks and then changing your mindset to something else. Which brings me nicely on to step 3. So step 3 is about now making the change. So we've become aware of our inner voice, we've challenged our inner voice, and now we are changing the outlook of our inner voice. So the way we can start doing this is maybe we can write a list of things that we like about ourselves. We could make a list of positive affirmations. You might have seen last week I made a video of me painting a positive affirmation tree. I mean, we said it was aimed at kids, but I think it'd be great for people of all ages. I mean, I've stuck mine on my fridge, I'm not ashamed to admit that. And it's just nice to look at every day and be reminded of the things that I like about myself. So that's a great place to start, making a list of all the things that you like about yourself. Then on those days where you're feeling a bit rubbish and you can't bring yourself to think of the positive things, then it's something for you to look back on. Another way of changing sort of that outlook is to change the negative aspects of those thoughts into positive ones. So let's think, for example, you're thinking, so you failed a test, you're thinking, oh, I'm really rubbish, I'm never going to pass. So rather than focusing on the negatives, let's flip that and make it positive and sort of say, well, what can I do next time to improve? So now we're learning, and it's a learning process, and we're not sort of getting bogged down by all the negative stuff. So like I said, 3 steps. So being aware of our inner voice, challenging our inner voice, and then changing the outlook of our inner voice. I mean, down on paper and saying it out loud, it all sounds simple enough, doesn't it? But in reality, it's not that simple. I realise that, and it will take practice. Self-love isn't something that you will achieve overnight, and that's fine. If you need to start by aiming to self-like, that's okay. That's still a step in the right direction. I think I've rambled on for long enough. Thank you all who've watched and tuned in. I hope you've got something useful out of it, even if it's just a reminder to be kind to yourself and show yourself that love and compassion and kindness and care that you deserve, that we all deserve. We'd love for you to sort of share these videos, get involved. Why don't leave us a comment saying how you look after yourself or how you practice self-love. We'd love to hear it. That's enough. That's enough from me for today. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.